Hey there, it's Kyle here with Freedom Family Finance. Thank you for taking a couple seconds to watch this video, a couple minutes, whatever. I get the question pretty frequently, why do you not do business with some people and do business with others? If all you do is sell life insurance and all you do is teach infinite banking, why do you reject some people? And the answer is because their value sets do not align with mine. And I'm not about to do business with people who have different value sets than I do. It's very simple. Now, there can be little nuances to the values and all that. It's totally fine. But when it comes to the approach towards infinite banking, the approach towards becoming your own banker, that needs to be pretty dang well aligned. And if it's not, there's some pretty serious ramifications of, there's just a lot of potential for conflict. I don't need that. And you, if you're watching this, you don't need that either, right? So finding an agent that you kind of resonate with is really important. Everything for me comes back down to the golden circle that Simon Sinek explained in his book, Start With Why. Every business, everybody does, performs a service or provides a product, right? This is just the what. In the context of infinite banking, the what is the IBC policy. There's a lot of different policies you can get. Not all of them are going to behave the same way. Not all companies are going to behave the same way. Some will grow faster than others. Some will grow slower. Some will be more steady. Some are built for long term. Some are built for short term. What the specific vehicle that you're going to use seems like, when people start going down this path, think of them as coming from the outside, right? You're walking in, you see infinite banking, and it's this entire thing. The first thing that you're going to come across is this product and service, right? It's the what. And so you're just thinking about the vehicle. And that's totally natural. It's totally fine. But the problem is most agents sell the what. I don't give a crap about the what. Okay? Okay, let me back up. I do give a crap about the what. It's not the most important thing. It's actually the least important thing. If we don't understand what makes it special, or the how of IBC, or the how of the particular policies, then the what doesn't matter. The what is just numbers on a page, okay? So, how is much more important than what. And then even further, why is way more important. Why is the purpose, the cause, or the belief? Why do I spend so much time investing in people's understanding of infinite banking? It's because you can easily get duped by the what and completely miss the why and the how. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story so you understand why I do what I do, why I'm so passionate about it. And so that when you make your decision, whether it's with me or somebody else, you can know why you're making that decision. You can understand how it's working. And therefore, the what is very, very, very simple. You don't even have to question it at that point. Okay? So I'm going to go through my story. When I started making money, I started investing in the stock market and following a financial, or I should say investment advisor. I was doing well. Stock market values were going up. My values were going up. One day he disappeared, have no idea where he went. None of us could find him. And he was replaced with a new investment advisor, and my account started going down. I had been learning, studying, everything right, and I thought that I understood this stuff to the point where I could make it do well, but I realized that I really had no idea what I was doing. So I pulled my money out of the stock market and proceeded to put my money in other things like gold, silver, angel investments, 401ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs, ESOP, you name it. I've done a lot of different things with my finances. I didn't care that the majority of my wealth was stored up behind the bars of retirement because I knew that I was going to be a company man. That had just kind of been my passion since I was 12 years old. Since I knew I was going to be a company man, I was very comfortable setting aside all my money and being responsible the way that the world taught me to be responsible, and put it in government qualified programs. One of the reasons why I teach all of this is because infinite banking is simple. Finance can be simple, But look at all these products. All of these are touted as being really, really smart things to do with your money. And we add stock market to that and cryptocurrency and all these kinds of things. There's 1,000 different things you could do with your money. And it makes finances seem really complicated, but in fact, it can be simple. Okay? And so that's one of the reasons why I love teaching people about infinite banking, is because finances can be simple. It's as simple as banking. I got married to Lizzie, my wife, and 2 months after Hudson was born, which was a year later. So we got married. A year later, we had Hudson. 2 months later, I broke my ankle. Okay? That was the first time I felt vulnerable, really, truly vulnerable, because I broke 3 bones and 2 ligaments. I was on my back for 3 months, and it just sucked. And I realized that no matter what happened to me, I had the God-given right or responsibility to protect my family and provide for them. My first ministry, right? Protect and provide for my family. I'm on my back. If I was working a highly physical job, I would have had a significant reduction in my income. If it was a worse accident and I got killed, all of a sudden we have no income. My family's left with nothing. That's what really opened my eyes to the importance of life insurance. I bought a term policy, yada, yada. I felt a little bit better about that, a little bit more sense of peace. Then the unthinkable happened. I realized that I didn't want the corporate life anymore, okay? And I wanted to go over to entrepreneurship. In order to make this transition happen, you need access to capital. Well, in order to get access to capital, I had to sell gold at a loss. I had to sell silver at a loss. I had to pay 10% penalties on my on all these accounts, and I had to pay 35% taxes. Now, how would that sound if you were trying to get access to money and you had to lose over 45% of the values that you thought you had? You feel like you have access to capital? No, not at all. Absolutely not. Sucked. I hated that. That's when I learned about infinite banking. Infinite banking, look at me, I already had this written down for you. Easy. Infinite banking provides 4 things. Okay, one of them is guaranteed growth. I'm not a massive risk taker. I think it is important to take risks, but I don't really love speculation. And if I knew there was a way to get guaranteed growth on my money, there's no question what I would have done. I would have not invested in the stock market. So I wouldn't have had this loss. I wouldn't have had these big questions. Okay, so that would have been super handy. The other thing that would have been amazing is to have access to liquid cash. Okay, or liquid capital, I should say. Access to capital would have saved me a whole bunch of heartache. I wouldn't have had to pay these 10% penalties, and I would have had the capital to make this transition from corporate to entrepreneurship a lot smoother. I'm not saying I would have been totally successful the first go around, because there's a whole different mindset that accompanies going into entrepreneurship, but I would have been a lot more successful. So that would have been smoothed over by infinite banking. Protection is a huge element with infinite banking, okay? The one that we all know about already is there's a huge life insurance element to all of this. So whether I live or I die, my family will be provided for because I have access to the capital that's in it while I'm alive. There's lots of living benefits. And if I die, then my family gets taken care of as well financially. So all of a sudden, my vulnerability is somewhat mitigated. The fourth element, is the tax-free. Oh my goodness. If your capital is stored up in a tax-free vehicle, you're not going to have to lose 30, 40, 50%, whatever taxes are at the time. All of a sudden, these problems, the tax drain on our capital is mitigated. After going through these 4 different milestones in a relatively short amount of time, about 5 years, and then learning about infinite banking, I looked back on my life and I was like, oh my goodness. I wouldn't have had to suffer the consequences of losing in the stock market. Wouldn't have had to suffer the consequences of paying penalties and high taxes on to access my capital. I would have been hurt, sure, but I also wouldn't have had that stress that came along with the physical ailments, disability, whatever. I'm not disabled. Broke my ankle. Don't want to make it a bigger deal than it is. But I also would have made this transition a lot smoother. That's huge. That's huge. Looking back at how infinite banking would have changed my life if I had been practicing from a very young age, it's shocking. And I just want to spread the word. I want to help people understand that finances can be simple. It could be as simple as this, right? Yeah, you're going to go out there, you're going to learn, you're going to fail. I'm going to continue to fail. But if I can do it with this being my foundation, I'm going to. And I want to show as many other people as I possibly can that this is possible. It is. There's a link kind of in the show notes of this for a couple different videos. Go down there and pull those up. If you haven't read Becoming Your Own Banker yet, that is so critical. Read Becoming Your Own Banker. Get the hard copy. Go through it. Highlight it. Make notes. All that kind of stuff. If you have any questions about my story, write them down. And I cannot wait to talk to you about kind of my story, about your story, and where infinite banking might fit in. All right? We'll talk to you guys later.